Becca's not a looker, but she could be helped out with a little wardrobe. Ruth McClanahan this season picked out all her outfits. As a small child in 1985, I used to masturbate to Ruth McClanahan, who was well into her 60s or late 50s at that point. And I'm pretty sure that Becca is getting her fashion sense from Ruth McClanahan, a.k.a. Blanche.
Welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
Put your confidence on, boys.
Same one as last week, or
that's my new one. That's my freaking tagline for this season. The people went crazy for it last week.
How do you know that?
Oh, the feedback in my life has changed.
Behind
Things haven't been
glass.
the same.
One Patrick Hickey, the producer of the podcast.
Hi, everybody. So happy to report. Solid episode. I'm loving this season.
This freaking episode is why we watch this television program.
It had all the elements. So much to break down.
Mystery, intrigue, blood.
Yeah, so we had careers that were on the line, both in modeling and professional athletics. We had gruesome injuries, heartbreak, lust, and love. We're going to get into the episode. Before we do, want to say thank you for joining our Facebook group. Also, jump in those iTunes ratings and reviews, and join us on Instagram. Okay, let's get into...
Hey, Dylan, sorry to interrupt before we get started. We never do this.
Yeah.
Hey, people that enjoy this show, you listen to us, maybe your commute to work, maybe at work, maybe, I don't know where you listen to it. Share this, please. We want to continue to grow. All it takes is you to tell a friend, a like-minded soul, someone who likes smart content.
Right.
Share it and say, listen to this. This fucking thing is so good.
Let's say you're in line at the grocery store and you hear somebody, a clerk and another customer talking about the show. Interrupt the conversation and say, guys, you want some extra content? My name's whatever your name is, and I think you should listen to another Bachelor podcast.
Everybody tell one person our numbers will double that next week, and you only have to double like 4 times to get to 1 million.
Let's get into the episode. Morning time, breakfast time. Are they in a new place or are they in the same place?
They're at the mansion.
It looked like a different place, did it not? Or am I just a bozo?
You're a bozo. It was the same mansion.
Okay, so Chris is walking around in that stupid mustard beanie, and let's get into David. He's still very, very preoccupied.
The chicken man.
With the lack of depth that is coming from Jordan. And I hate this guy. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I don't want to say I'm glad he caved his face in. And I'm kind of glad he caved his face in.
I'll say it all day. If it had to be anybody, I'll say that at the very least.
Yeah, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But I do want to talk about he's making eggs in the morning. That pan is way too hot. The bottom of that omelet is brown. And I want to say...
I knew you were going to have some thoughts on this omelet, and I'm really glad I did. I want to get your take.
I want to say the mark of any chef worth his or her weight in salt is their egg preparation.
No pun intended.
This guy has no grace at all.
On the heat, off the heat. On the heat, off the heat. That's the one who yells a lot, and he's
what are you doing?
On the heat, off the heat. On the heat, off the heat.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
that's way too involved a recipe, but at least he didn't freaking burn the bottom of the egg. Chris walks in, 2 group dates, 1 one-on-one. This is what we're competing for, boys. Pat?
Oh, would you want a roll call?
Nope, I don't. But
I do.
You got to pick. You got to pick, man.
Roll
call! Hit the music! All right, so this is for the first group date. Wills, Jason, gay guy, chicken guy, Jean Black, the token black guy, and Colton, who last week dropped a... The bomb.
The bomb.
He did drop quite the bombshell. Dated Tia. I love your nicknames, but I don't love gay guy. I think Jordan slays.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the Tinder matches later. I have a problem with another one of the monikers you used. You said the token black guy, and I don't think we have a token black guy this season. There's tons of them.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Shame on you, Patrick.
And not only is he's not even token. He's like He's got varied interests. He's a connoisseur.
Egg on my face. That's what we call a callback in the biz. Mm-hmm.
Oh, callback to like just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
Got it. Yeah. Hey, so last season we talked about what I'm going to call the boogies, the friends that hang on. Pat had a huge problem with every single one of these girls who were on that couch last year, and they are all back. Pat.
Yeah, Dill.
Roll call.
Hit the music! All right, so these are the, all my girlfriends. I mean, hanger-oners are here. Caroline, Terry, CN, who should have been the first Black Bachelorette, and Kendall.
Did you say she should have been the first Black Bachelorette?
Fuck yeah.
And Tia.
But Rachel was the first.
Oh, yeah, Tia's there, too.
Yeah, we know what he said.
Okay.
I said she should have been.
Listen, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me here, but short-haired Becca, I feel like she has a lot of anger in her heart. The way she's looking across at the other Becca, I think she wants what the Queen's got.
Are you kidding me? All 5 of those women had bloodthirst in their eyes.
No, not like little Becca.
I feel like you were focusing on her for some reason, but they're all gunning for the king, and they best not miss.
The big reveal is that Colton is going to be on this date, and Tia is just shocked.
Well, you guys you dated, and so.
Oh, are you guys serious?
Yeah.
Wait, he's gonna be on the date today?
I guess. I didn't know until she just said
Yeah.
Was he thinking that also you might be the Bachelorette? Was his thought process?
I'm sure. Yeah.
And I don't want you to be like upset and tormented over that.
Did you catch something there in that clip? Becca asked Tia, was Colton, did he weirdly break up with you and then sign up for the Bachelorette because he thought you were going to be on the show? She says, yeah.
And then very shortly after, of course, she said.
One thing that really cheeses me off about this whole thing.
Oh, I hate it. I love it when Dylan gets all cheesed off.
What is and is not dating? That's a pretty big word. I mean, dating implies things that are not here. Hooking up with somebody in a weekend?
Correct, and just
That's
kissing.
not dating. You're not dating.
And if you believe Tia just found out in that exact moment that Colton was going to be there, I got some oceanfront property in Glendale to sell you, all right? Because I can tell you what, she knew it was coming.
For those that are not in Los Angeles proper, Glendale's landlocked. There's no water here. That's a great joke.
Thanks.
She played it like she was weirded out by this, yet we are all agreeing that she knew this was coming.
Yeah,
yes.
Of course. Like, oh my God, I just found out right now.
How pissed off was she that she got fucking scrubbed from being the Bachelorette just on these circumstances of Ari flipping the script? Like, she is pissed. And you can tell on her face how upset she's looking at Becca and going like, fuck.
The bloodthirst. It's the bloodthirst, I'm telling you. And you could look at any one of those ladies and they all had it.
I don't know.
And I bet they were all extremely disappointed how few words they got. I bet they were all interviewed, had these on the flies, and then it's all on the cutting room floor.
Cut down to nothing. Well, Becca asked CN, what do you think? And CN says, do you think you can move on from the past? Which I think is a solid question. Right? And Becca kind of doesn't really answer the question. I think she says, let me get to know him and talk to Tia and figure out how deep this went. I have something to say about this. Women are far more open to hooking up with a guy that their friend kind of dated than men. If I found out that Dylan had finger banged a chick that I'm interested in, I can't do it. I'll be going... Dylan finger banged the girl I'm dating. I'm really bothered by that. And then I'd be asking questions. Dylan told me he only put his finger in her. Did he actually have sex with her as well?
Which hole?
I'd be obsessing over this day and night, and that's why I could never. And I know most males could not either.
Oh, that makes me feel very proud, Pat. Mm-hmm. Hey, we've spent way too much time on fingering and stuff like that. I just want to move on to the venue. Because, guys, this is a low-budget episode. This place is a yucky mess. They come in like the back entrance of the spa. Looks like it's just been freshly and sloppily hosed down. It's soaking wet. The signage is so tacky. It's not the mark of a quality spa. The plants are strewn and painted on the walls. There are buckets from Target that they're putting their feet in. The whole thing, it looks like a Saw movie, not a spa.
Dylan, you are so on point. And also, I would like to add on here. Look, no one should be rubbing someone's feet that you're dating. You should never massage another woman's foot. It's bad form.
I swear to God, on this podcast, you said you're a huge foot man.
I am an absolute foot man, and that's what I'm saying.
I think you're putting too much emphasis on this because you really like feet, and I think this carries more weight to you than it does to us.
Patrick holds feet in such high esteem. He's like, they're not to be touched.
Well, first off,
you're putting the feet on the pedestal.
I'd be in foot heaven, to be perfectly honest, on this date, but that's everything that's wrong about this date. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Colton and Jason go and sit down. This was a super weird conversation to me. I don't know if I missed something, but it seemed super forced because they had no interaction with each other whatsoever this entire season. But then he sits down and he's like, you knew that I didn't need to introduce myself to Tia. So Jason was there that weekend?
No, I thought it was just pretty clear they had become bros and kind of chatted about this and that off camera, of course.
Okay. It's still weird. What is a future contestant for the show doing at a house with a future bachelorette of the show? What are these social circles?
I want to be in them.
I don't want to be in them at all. Pat, you're married. You have dogs that need a lot of care. You can't go off to freaking Newport Beach and party with Colton and Tia. Tia and Becca sit down. Pat, go ahead and break this down for us, buddy.
So that was a nothing burger conversation. However, very important information was disclosed. It was only a kiss, and women can get past that. Mm-hmm.
Well, also, Tia wasn't really putting her at ease, was she?
That was 100% the only point I wanted to get across from their conversation.
Yeah.
Tia could have been 1,000 times more reassuring.
Yeah, and encouraging.
I'd be it was seriously nothing. I think he's a great guy. You guys would be great together. Yeah. Please don't worry about it. Boom, not squashed.
Right.
But I think Patrick had hit it on the nose. She's got bit by the little jealousy
dead
bug.
Horse and all. But maybe I was wrong with my sights. Maybe Tia was the one that was the most volatile.
I think they all were equally.
No, there's no way.
Bloodthirst.
Cien does not have that in her.
Are you kidding?
Get the fuck out of here, Nick.
She has disgusted me on social media since.
All right, whatever. Let's not drag her
She's
through the
still
mud.
hot.
Night date.
Night date!
We got to get into the fashion of these gentlemen. I don't know what's going on with these buttons. Maybe I'm a prude. Maybe I'm not hip to the trends. But there's all the buttons on the shirt for a reason. Use them all. You don't need to leave the top 3 undone.
You also don't have rippling pectorals, Dylan.
Well, they are rippling.
I think I'd take advantage if I did.
No.
Not like Connor, but
I'm going to agree with Dylan here, but mine is not the pectoral exposure that is troublesome to me. It's the loafers with no socks. I don't want to see a man's ankles. It's saying I'm too comfortable. I'm really cash now.
Cash.
I hate you. If you don't have socks, I can't be your friend.
Right.
Can't be your buddy.
We're on the same page on that one.
Same page. Well, not about the buttons. But anyways, Jean Bloc does a bait and switch on the guys. Mm-hmm. They all agree that they're going to be cool, chill, talk to her for a little bit, and then he takes a look at her manicure and lifts her right up. It is important to say and to remember that this man is a snake and believes that cologne is the extension of the soul.
I was like, holy shit, Jean Bloc, are you in the cast of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Because that was JB Smooth.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a thinker. That's a lot to make those connections. Great joke.
That was awful.
What?
Okay, now we got to talk about the head massager. Bust that out. She's like, did you steal that?
Which could be construed as racist.
That's my job. To bring up nonsense like that. That's not racist. That's genuine concern. Did you steal that? Because that's the exact same one from the spa. And he's like, no, I packed it because I like to come prepared to take care of the things I love, one of which is you. He stole it. You packed that?
Are you kidding? He collects cologne. I can totally see him packing something weird like that. He was like, oh yeah, I already painted my nails. I don't even have to on this one.
Get ahead of it then. Say, I know it might look like I stole this.
Pun intended.
I just packed it. Pat, do you have anything to say?
Jean Blanc, or whatever, however you say that. He gets a kiss when he does his little time with her. She's doling out the makeout sessions, this Bachelorette. Mm-hmm.
You guys really have a problem with all the kissies?
I do. I fear intimacy on a core level, and so yeah, I'm triggered. Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with her doing it.
Yeah.
I would not want to be number 11 on the night.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Let's talk about Jason. He is a fucking great guy. I don't think he's going to make it to hometowns. I think he's going to go far. Just a really, really good guy.
He is. He seems normal.
He's too
normal
dude.
to be here, which is actually gets my spidey sense tingling that there's probably something going on there.
Pain.
Something interesting happened, which was not worth mentioning, but during the spa day,
the irony.
Scott Bale, who I'm calling Jason, she forgot his name, which means she doesn't give a fucking shit about this guy.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I really became a huge fan of his this episode. He was like, I understand you're going through a ton right now, and I was right after Colton.
Yeah, no, good move. Don't make her feel weird.
No, but the like acceptance that I was going right after Colton.
Yes.
Caught it. It's great.
He also threw in, he was like, which I thought was a great line, you couldn't have said it to a better person. Like, I got thick skin. Like, yeah. I don't care, baby.
Now, gentlemen, I have an important question to ask. When Becca was with Scott Bale.
What do you call him?
Scott
Bale.
Say it.
Scott Bale.
Okay, I'm not hearing that. I thought you were saying Bale. It's the weird Boston. It's like, I guess it's not even a Boston accent. It's
he talks like a Mongoloid.
Akin to him saying mum.
Yeah.
But anyways,
okay. Anyway,
mum and popcorn.
All right. So,
and stuff like that.
If you remember this, when she gets alone time with Scott Bale, she says, I got to admit, I have a little crush on you. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Does she have a little crush on him? Or was that her way of trying to make amends to her not knowing who the fuck he was?
I think she was overcompensating a little bit, but I do want to say that there's a broader thing going on here where there are some losers, but there is a thick pack of people who have a pretty good thing going with her, you know? There are the clear standouts, but there are a lot of guys who she's getting along great with, Jason being one of them.
I normally would think she was overcompensating, but she did keep him around after not even giving him a chance on a group or a single date before. Yeah. So I think since the first second she saw him out of the limo, she has liked him a little bit.
We got to move on. But before we do, let's hear a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by KCRW's Summer Pledge Drive. Hey, all you listeners out there, it is heating up in LA, so we here at KCRW hope your ACs are on and at the very least your windows are down because summer is here. You know what that means? It's time for our annual Summer Pledge Drive. All summer long, we're calling upon you, the listeners and supporters of Los Angeles' best public radio, to help keep KCRW up and running. We know you love public radio as much as we do. We know you love Eclectic Mornings with Moira Tomas and Jason Bentley. We know you love Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me with probably Paula Poundstone. And we know you love the concerning sounds of Bookworm's Michael Silverblatt. Is he losing his mind? We don't know. But monthly memberships could help us find out. Remember, all monthly memberships will get you discounts and special offers to restaurants all over LA, like Green Skull Coffee Roasters. If it isn't green, it isn't coffee. Tony's Senegalese of Eagle Rock, the only Senegalese restaurant in Eagle Rock. And who could forget Hot White Show Dumpling House in Alhambra. LA Times food writer Jonathan Gold said of the restaurant, if the cross-section of Mission and 4th cooks to an internal 95, heat ripple illusions can obscure Chinese characters, blurring vision and direction. Regardless, I can always find my favorite dumpling house, as the crows will surely be there, perched atop the roof's rusted razor wire. The birds are right about this place. We've also got great community building workshops like Sew Knitting and Sewing, where you'll learn to make traditional native headdresses and colorful quiver sheaths. We've also got great classes and educational programs like Sumerian characters from Aliens to You, and also How to Speak to Trees. And who could forget our partnership with the Hollywood Bowl? Monthly donators will receive 4 free tickets to any show of their choosing all summer long. Take your pick from one of the 75 LA Phil concerts, or pack a picnic and go see other great performances from artists like Beat, Seattle's newest all-percussion outfit, Mariachi USA, a new blood metal band out of Athens, Rod Stewart, Oliver, a 5-piece indie rock group made up of separated siblings who found each other later in life, and also Diana Ross. So keep listening, and remember, this summer, donate to the station that you love, KCRW. We really need you. Tindergate. Let's get into it.
I can't have us call it that. Can we think of something else for a controversy? Why do we call it Tindergate? It wasn't... Watergate wasn't about water.
You know what? Okay, so you're making the case that what I'm doing is unoriginal, right?
Extremely.
And I would fire back at you that this problem with naming things gate, I mean...
I'm not saying I'm the first one to bring it up, but people say it for a fucking reason.
It's hip to say, what's with gate?
I don't have...
Why do we call everything gate?
Let me rephrase. I don't have a problem with that it's overused. I have a problem that it's illogical. Watergate was not about water. It was the name of a hotel. It doesn't make sense. This is about Tinder. It should be called Tinder. Watergate was about the Watergate Hotel. This should be called Tinder. Remember when Tinder happened on The Bachelorette?
I take your point. I really do. Now, guys, I don't want to sound snooty. I don't want to sound like a prude, but I've never I've never once downloaded this application. I've never had to use it. When he says that he got 4,000 matches, these guys are, I mean, red flags are popping off everywhere because they have an intimate knowledge with this app, and they're like, wait a second, 4,000? How difficult is that to achieve?
He said in a year, which was key. I'm sure I don't have the coiffed profile he has as a model with some of these headshots and stuff, and I've still probably had upwards of 1,000 matches in my day of having Tinder. I restarted a couple months ago. I have 250.
Right.
He said he was more judicious than I personally am with my swipes, but hey, to each their own.
How many of these women have you bed?
This is not topic for conversation. I do love honesty and pod, but a different pod.
What pod?
I don't know. We'll once we get super popular, we'll have a general discussion one.
This guy David is, I mean, again,
the chicken man.
We said it earlier. I don't want to wish anybody's face getting caved in, except for this man. Cardinal rule broken. Go straight to Becca.
I'm an open book. I told you that, the first time. I'm open, honest. That's my biggest character trait, and I feel like that's what you're looking for. I'm getting along with, most of the guys. Jordan is a little bit of an exception. Like he showed up wearing underwear, and that's him. But at the end,
you showed up wearing a chicken costume.
I showed up wearing a chicken costume, so I'm not one. I'm not one to throw people under the bus. But we were just chatting, and he's like, he's bragging about his Tinder, and he's got 4,000 matches, and he goes on, he's on and on and on, like 100% success rate.
I feel bad for a man that's never gotten 100% on anything in his life. It's probably because I don't have a silver spoon hanging out of my ass. That's probably why.
Gentlemen, we'll address the content of their conversation, but let me address something.
Grudge sound.
Yes. No way, really?
Oh, it was in my head.
The male vocal fry?
This man, he's not only a piece of shit that dresses as a chicken, he's also an asshole and also has male vocal fry.
Okay.
That went so amazing because that whole clip, I'm actually distracted. I remember what he said, but I didn't hear it that time because that's all I could think of was that grudge sound.
Yeah.
But I was afraid to bring it up because I thought Patrick would spend 10 minutes finding the clip.
Right. And that does...
but he had it on the
He is one to do that. I got to say, that movie is so spooky. It still spooks me out hearing that sound. But, if if you were distracted by the vocal fry and didn't hear the words of the conversation, let's break them down. The thing that drives me crazy about this guy is that he fancies himself an intellectual and claims that he's an intelligent human being. I would say that he's probably dumber than Jordan.
Oh, 100%. He can't keep up with Jordan.
Right? Would you agree with that?
I have a dark history of doing this on this podcast, but I'm sensing a little autism. So maybe it's not being stupid. He's fucking weird.
On Jordan, wait, are you saying that Jordan, the gay guy, has autism?
No.
He's not gay. We're talking about David. Okay, this guy David looks like an absolute moron saying this because why do you even bring up the fact that he wore underwear when you came in that costume? It's setting the bear trap and slamming your foot down into it. You have to go through the machinations. You have to know that she's going to say, what are you talking about? You came in a chicken costume. Also, when somebody prefaces anything they're about to say that's disparaging about another with, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, you're gross.
Agreed. And I also want to say Jordan won this with the one-liner of the night, and I will use this in the future. It was beautiful. Jordan said that he got into David's head. He's been there so long, he should be paying rent there. I like that.
He's really funny. Last stupid thing he said was in an interview, he said that she sees the inner chicken in me and not the facade that Jordan puts on. Is that right? She doesn't see the facade that Jordan puts on? Don't you want to say that she sees through the facade?
Exactly.
I mean, I say a lot of stupid shit, but this guy, every fucking sentence that comes out of his mouth is wrong.
This is a great time for me to get a plug-in for. I'm not getting paid to do this at all. I just found them on Instagram. They actually tagged us in a photo at Another Bachelor Podcast.
Community.
This Instagram profile is called @bad_bachelor_grammar. And it's new. It's only got a couple followers, but it's documenting some of these ridiculous things we tend to point out. And they...
Was one of them that?
I haven't even gotten a chance to scroll through the whole thing, but I'm sure it has. There was a lot of examples, but their profile tracking the grammatical fails of the Bachelor franchise, aka doing God's work, and they're patting themselves on the back.
Now,
but it's
can I ask you
accurate.
a question? Is this Instagram owned and operated by you?
No, I am actually at @bad_bachelor_grammar 2.
Got it. That is rich.
Another static tonight, by the way.
Did we get one?
Colton said it really early on.
Well, we'll get to Colton. Whew. I'll tell you what, David's smarter than Colton. We're doing a hierarchy.
Oh, man.
Bottom of the barrel.
Dredging the sewer.
Dredging the sewer.
It was accurate. I looked it up.
And cuckolding this cast. I wanted to just say one more thing about Jordan. He's absolutely wonderful with some of his one-liners. He says, David, you are a skeleton of a man.
I feel like that'll cut to the core of a guy who who's not on the spectrum.
Got it. Jordan leaves to talk to her and does... he's not going to last another 3 weeks, but he does really well. David's going to get sent home a lot sooner than Jordan, although... David does have a sympathy week at least because he caved his face in, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe he's a lot smarter than he thought, and he knew he's hanging by a thread. I'm going to fuck my face up.
Pat, you have your hand over the keyboard. Are you going to play a clip?
Oh, yeah, I was going to play a clip of the gay guy and Becca talking.
I know it's hard with me being like a model, and it's tough. Like, it's like genuinely. I can't find anyone that matches the intensity or the fun. I'm looking for someone that's wholesome, not only someone that's pretty, but smart and has that bright smile. You have such a bright smile.
How are you in a relationship as a partner?
Me, I literally do everything. I'll cook, I'll clean. I'm a golden retriever. And so, like, as a partner, like, I'm just loyal and I'm dependable. I could be a boyfriend and have a total girl's day.
Yeah.
And I mean that in like the most manly way possible, you know what I mean? So like today I was in my element. I really felt confident, I felt good.
I love that you just said that because today I was like, Jordan will be thriving at this spot.
Yeah. I'm always gonna be in my element because this is dating. Like this is dating Becca. Like I'm in my element right now. Like you are something that I would like to see myself next to. So you're the goal.
I have a take here. Becca's loving this because this is the 5 minutes out of the night that she doesn't need to give a shit, and she can just laugh and have fun and not have to feel like she needs to be present. She can just sit there and just take a break mentally. And like more Jordan time, I think she's probably thinking. Like,
I think they're both in on it. They're like, we can just have fun with this. He said really early on in the episode, if I stay charismatic, Becca's going to keep me around. And they cut it off right before he said, because production told her to.
Okay, so he does fine, and while they're talking, David is talking to the other guys, and they could not look more disinterested in what he has to say. I know for a fact that they're all collectively thinking in separate brains. Tonight, I hope this man rolls off his bunk bed and smashes his face on the ground, sending him a bloody ambulance to ICU.
Dude, it's called The Secret. You manifest reality.
I was going to say, I think it's just the collective juju of the group made that man roll off that bed.
You think these things in decision. But he said, I mean, Jordan couldn't have described him more perfectly. He called him, he's a bitch. Like when he was talking to those guys and they weren't responding to him, he goes, that was pretty funny, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
Okay. We need to move on. Do we need to cover this professionality talk? It's hilarious, but we don't need to cover it. Okay.
That is definitely covered in that Instagram profile.
Okay, great. Colton and Becca, they have a talk, and I think Colton is over the hill now. She's bought this hook, line, and sinker. He is F-I-N-E fine. He's going to last quite a while.
He's also cool, calculated, and probably going to be the next Bachelor.
I was thinking, this guy's borderline retarded, but could he just be like a dormant genius, like in his head just being like, it's working. It works every time.
Colton, how he gets through this with her, and then she buys hook, line, and sinker and then makes out with him. I think this is our first low self-esteem Bachelorette. Maybe coming off, obviously, being dumped by Ari, but like no other Bachelorette would tolerate this. You hooked up with, you're here, you're signing up for this fucking show, you're making out with Tia, you're in these circles. Why are you here? Get the fuck out. Men have been cut off this show for far less than this.
DeMario and the Bird Lady?
Exactly.
We talked a lot of shit about Rachel, but she went to put up with this shit.
Yeah,
she definitely would not. And Colton is here, and I think this is our lowest self-esteem Bachelorette. That's a hot take.
That is a really, really hot take. This is like straight out of the parody satire show Burning Love, when that guy Blaze is there, and he's absolutely a degenerate, but she just finds him so attractive that she keeps him around.
His name is Blaze?
It's just one of the funniest shows. You got to watch it. I think it's on yahoo.com or some weird location.
Why do you get a burp?
Why do you have to burp like that?
Oh, you heard that?
What do you mean? Did we hear that? You have a mic open in front of you and you burped.
He thinks we're trying to put too many jokes in.
What are you talking about?
I turned away.
Hear that?
Sorry, I turned away.
Ugh. One-on-one. Let's get to it.
He's making like cartoon noises.
Evil Ben Stiller.
So, Evil Ben Stiller, I arrived at the conclusion, which I'm pretty proud of. He looks like a male escort. He looks like a stripper. He is so reminiscent of the men, the gentlemen in the hit Showtime docuseries Juggalos. Or, excuse me, Gigolos.
Yes.
Juggalos are the overweight Southerners that go to insane clown posse shows.
There's a very specific sect of gigolos, though, that only dress in juggalo makeup.
Yeah, there's a Venn diagram there. It's very, very small.
Dylan, I was picking up on this as well. His body to fat ratio is on point. He's very well manicured. He's dyeing his beard, by the way, 100%.
Right.
His hair looks amazing. Everything.
He's got those
there.
fuckboy white tennis shoes on. That goddamn jean sweater combo. He looks like a professional whore.
I bet he also shaves his asshole, because I've heard from male escorts that hygiene is the number one priority.
Got it. Thank you for that.
Shave and bleach.
They sit down with Grammy Award-winning artist Richard Marx, who looks sickly.
Oh yeah, hey, I was happy to see him, but obviously he's had a lot of work done and contracted AIDS.
Did you write that down?
No, I thought of it.
But also,
He looks like he's dying.
I've heard his song. I didn't know who sang it. What kind of name is Dick Marks? That sounds like STD source.
I don't think he goes by Dick Marks. They do sit down and start jamming. And he starts singing beautifully and then kicks to her. And I don't think she knew he was going to kick to her. Because this is... Pat, do you have a clip?
Oh, yeah, we want to hear a clip.
Let's hear her singing.
Wherever you go, whatever you do.
Take it, Becca.
I'll be right here waiting.
Chris knows it.
Richard's voice is velvet. I could just listen to him for hours.
If his voice is velvet, her voice is sandpaper.
I was going to say Velcro, yeah.
Yeah, because sandpaper kind of conjures thoughts of like raspy to me, actually.
Right.
So I like yours better.
Okay, yeah. Either way, it made you want to go, ugh, yuck. So, anyways, this was excruciating, but not as excruciating as what he's about to tell them to do. He asks them to write love songs to one another. And right out of the gate, Chris is like, whoa, I don't know if I can be that vulnerable. We get a lot of talk. Vulnerability, walls breaking down, which are staples of this journey for love.
It's my new segment. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. These two idiots don't know who each other are. If you ask Chris what her last name is, he doesn't fucking know it. How could you possibly, in 20 minutes, conjure up a love song given you've never gone to music school? Perhaps you've never done any poetry? How the fuck is this guy who got cast on The Bachelor supposed to sit in a room with a fucking pad of paper and write a fucking love song?
Listen, clearly, him voicing his thoughts, his concerns, and his feelings on paper hasn't gone that well for him in the past.
He was the kid who had to read like poetry out loud and ended up running out of the room, throwing up his papers and dropping the class and never returning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I did in choir class one time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
A semester final, we had to sing solos. I just walked out.
Now, Dylan, are you mentioning this because Chris does dip into his horrible childhood?
Yeah, well, I was kind of making a joke about how the last time he tried to pour his heart out onto the page, it didn't go too well for him.
Oh, can I make a big whoosh sound over here pointing at this guy? Didn't catch that. Yeah, his father abandoned him.
Yes.
Twice.
Duh! That's why he is the way he is. Because he has had no father figure in his life. Which is a very, very sad thing. When you don't have a father figure in your life, you end up like Pat.
Okay.
I do have to say, this is a little... I agree with you. This is a little intense for a first date. Forget the lack of knowledge about surnames and such. It's just too much for people who are just getting to know one another. With that being said, I mean... he freaking kills it. He does a great job.
I'm going to give a hot take here. I don't work for the Bachelor franchise.
Ooh.
There is no way. There's no way he wrote that. I'm not saying it was like Bon Jovi level, but it was pretty good. They helped him out a lot. There's no way he did this on his own.
Hot take. I'm a detail-oriented... how does it go?
Motherfucker, I'm a detail motherfucker.
So, I would like to present the case that he did write this, because the last line, the only line that I really had a problem with, was... the idea of seeing you at the end of this is what I want to envision the most. Why don't you just say, the idea of seeing you at the end of this is what I want the most?
Because...
he's trying too hard.
First off, wait. You said you agreed with me on this. No.
No, he said he disagreed.
Oh, you disagree? You are fucking wrong, because you're saying that they pulled in a professional songwriter to come in here. They didn't do that. They had some producer who has a degree in English literature help write that and punch that up.
So you guys could technically be on the same page because you're saying it's bad writing. He's not saying He thought he paid a professional writer.
Nope.
He was saying it was so shitty that guy wrote himself. But you're saying it was shitty because a producer wrote it. I get it.
Got it.
But the biggest problem with that line is it's illogical. The idea of seeing you at the end of this is what I want to envision the most. Envisioning an idea is redundant, and there is no one preventing you from envisioning anything. You just do that. So I have I have an idea of seeing you at the end. Is all you need to say. Soul is the brevity of wit and lovemaking. Evidently,
is the soul of wit.
And I guarantee you, Richard Marx didn't trust that he wrote it himself either. He had his eyebrows raised.
Who won that tart off? What's up?
It is late, and we need to get into the night date.
Night date!
Right out of the gate, Becca makes fun of her singing. And I think this is a very important move because I think the producers intervened and they were like, Becca, we had no fucking idea you were going to sing like that, okay? Call attention to how god-awful that was, or America is going to think even less of you.
Verbatim on my notes. Production had to tell her to say that so they could address the elephant in the room.
Okay. I don't have an elephant sound effect, but I do have this.
Thank you for being a friend.
Ruth McClanahan, known as Blanche on the Golden Girls. Whenever I see one of Becca's not a looker, but she could be helped out with a little wardrobe. Ruth McClanahan this season picked out all her outfits. As a small child in 1985, I used to masturbate to Ruth McClanahan, who was well into her 60s or late 50s at that point. And I'm pretty sure that Becca is getting her fashion sense from Ruth McClanahan, a.k.a. Blanche.
That is insane that you brought them up. I was just having a discussion about, is it B. Arthur?
It's B. Arthur.
Yeah, I was just having a discussion about B. Arthur with someone the other day, and also it brings us back to the Golden Girls was the analogy I used to compare to the Spurs to win my Harlem Globetrotters autographed basketball when I was ESPN Hall of Fame listener when I was 7th grade.
Now, one thing I do have to say, I think we should call this episode the 1985. Also, Pat, you and I admire your bravery and your courage and your stupidity for saying what you just said on the mic, but can we just go back to the whole you were masturbating to Blanche from the Golden Girls?
Correct.
Nothing beats a little experience.
Nothing beats a little experience. Pun, masturbating, beating off.
Like not on purpose, but hey, that's why they say no pun intended.
Nice.
You and me and Pat need to get on to the rest of this date. Chris tells a very, very sad story. The dad left on New Year's, which is, in my estimation, taking New Year's resolutions a little bit too seriously. You don't have to do it that day. I know you're going to turn over a leaf, but don't do it on that day. You're going to bum everybody out. It's a national holiday.
We've talked about this. We've been watching this show for a while, guys. I think we're on, season 2 of us doing this podcast? Let me say something.
Is that a joke referencing?
Was that a joke?
Because we have not gotten it right once. This, by the way, fans, is season 5.
Oh, okay. Chris here, a.k.a. Evil Ben Stiller, makes a very big mistake. If you're going to get deep with a chick on a date, you got to tell her one of your family members that you love that loved you died, okay? You don't start mentioning that
but
your
what if
dad...
that didn't happen?
You lie. You fucking lie, and when you're done lying, grab into your pocket and lie more, okay? Instead, he goes the route of talking about dad checking out, the New Year's story. What he's really conveying here is that he's fucking damaged goods.
Yeah.
She's smiling, she's being compliant, but really in the back of her head, she's like, I ain't fucking bringing you home.
Yeah.
And she even threw out there, she was like, yeah, no, I've had a ton of tragedy, real death. You can still reconcile with your father. I can't bring my dad back. She was not impressed by his sob story. I agree, kind of weak in the pantheon of sob stories.
I kind of agree with you guys. Do you guys want to talk about the injury?
One final note on this. Evil Ben Stiller gets the rose. I think it's very telling of our low self-esteem Bachelorette when she's giving roses out like they're fucking candy. I don't think she's kicked anybody off the fucking show yet.
She's giving out roses like they're candy.
She hasn't kicked anybody out. Every one-on-one she's done, there's only been one. And like the group dates, the only way she can get rid of people is during the rose ceremony. She's keeping around people that should not be here. It's very obvious evil Ben Stiller should go home because his dad did not love him.
I don't think if you have the performance that Chris did today, you write beautiful, beautiful lines like the idea of seeing you at the end of this is what I want to envision the most. I don't think there's any way you're going home.
And I think also we've seen where you give that sob story, even if it's shitty, it buys you a day.
Now, can we talk about Chicken Man getting injured?
Please.
He is injured gravely. The guys say that he looked like a bear attacked him.
Looking like old Timothy Treadwell.
Hey, Colton. I don't know how many bear Pat's clicking, and it's very, very concerning.
Sorry.
I wonder if he's about to play the tape where Timothy Treadwell dies.
Is that Timothy? Is that the Grizzly Man's name was Timothy Treadwell?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Chocolate. Come here, Chocolate. Give me that hat back, Chocolate.
Get away. Go away!
You're good at that.
Hey, Colton, I don't know how many bear attacks you've seen, but I've seen my fair share, and let me tell you something, buddy. He wouldn't have been in the fake ICU if he had been snatched up by a grizz. Okay? I don't know about you, but this kind of pissed me off when Chris was like, he's in intensive care right now. No, he's not.
You don't get to talk on the phone from intensive care.
Yeah, you don't get on the phone like, Becca, I'm still here with you, baby. I'll be back next.
Pussy, 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 pussy.
I am so sick of this group of guys. Sorry to step on you there. You know what it is? He's either a complete loser, like a pussy, or he got true drunk that night. Either way, this guy's a loser. He fell out of a bed and broke his fucking face.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Look at the guys they cast on this season.
Can I tell you guys a quick story? When I was in college, I fell off the top bunk in my dormitory because my roommate who would come home drunk, very, very drunk, and he would snore a lot when he got drunk. And one night he came home and he was sawing logs, and I was like bouncing around on my bed to try and wake him up, and I fell off, hit the ground. He did not wake up at all. I was in so much pain on the ground, closer to him, snoring, and I just looked at him and I was like, I fucking hate you.
One time I urinated my pants and I broke my phone due to water damage.
What?
Pussy, 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 pussy.
Just kidding, Nick. That doesn't make you a pussy.
So anyways, Chris is a liar, but he goes in and he says, hey, Becca, I got to tell you something. One of the guys was hurt pretty bad last night.
If we could hear her inner monologue, it would be going, not Blake, not Colton, not Garrett, not Blake, not Colton, not Garrett, not Blake, not Colton, not Garrett.
Absolutely. She's like, who was it?
And then you just heard inner monologue. Huge sigh of relief.
Yeah. Yeah. David. Thank God. Who did this to him? Himself,
not Blake, not Colton, not Garrett. Not Blake, not Colton, not Garrett.
Yeah. Once again. Anyways, he's going to be back next week. They blur his face and say horror, like they say, oh man, it looks like a time warp. I doubt it's going to be that bad next week because that's what this show does. It lies to its viewers. Should we get on to the group date?
Group date!
Roll call. You want to pass?
You've worn me down, man.
Let's just get into it then.
I got it. Clay, Leo, Kriston, Ryan, John, Garrett, Mike, Lincoln, Connor, Blake.
Way to pick the torch up, baby.
I'm going to put music bed under it, too.
Yeah?
Don't you fucking dare, Davis, you son of a bitch.
Guys, does Jordan say that he talks to God every day?
He did. And
he's a pious man? Nonetheless, the legends of the Legends Football League come out onto the gridiron, which is today's date. Dina Karowski and Melissa Miles. Was Dina sack tapping the whole band as she came out? It looked like she was smacking their asses, but they were turned facing towards her.
That's a power move, a little sack tap.
Huge power move.
And I will say about Melissa Miles, she plays for the LA Temptation, which I believe is an amazing team name. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, it is.
And I was going to give you some stats on these ladies, but the League of Legends or whatever the shit needs to update their website.
Yeah, this is purely a live event. I don't think they're tracking stats, records, or conferences, or any of it.
That's how you get people into it.
Listen, I would go watch this. I've seen clips of ladies' lingerie games. I mean, they hit the fuck out of each other. They really cream each other.
Yeah,
it's gladiatorial. Why the hockey helmets? Why the hockey helmets?
That's for fingers, man. You don't want to poke someone's eye.
That's not it.
That's definitely not it.
Otherwise, they would do it in the NFL. I believe, and almost positive about this, because actually people complain about the NFL. They're not able to market their players because people don't see their faces.
Got it.
You're keeping a clear face because we need to see these beautiful men and know who we're looking at, even though it didn't really help while they're on the field.
I was very confused.
So what's the answer, geniuses?
Well, he just gave it to you.
No, he said that's the reason why the NFL leaves the open mask.
No, that's the mask.
No,
the mask.
You're not tracking.
The mask messes up the face.
Yeah.
You can't see the face. Clear shield, you can see it more.
You know whose face you could see? One of the men who used to don that helmet often. One Super Bowl champion, Keyshawn Johnson, sitting down with Chris Harrison.
Throw him the damn ball. That was his New York Times best-selling book. One of the first athletes to actually get a book deal like that. Open the floodgates.
What is there to say about this? Leo's hilarious. Garrett's going to go really far. Lincoln's clueless, and Clay got hurt.
I was amazed to see that some of these guys who I consider very effeminate, catching balls. And
there was a little bit of a role reversal. Like some of the effeminate ones were making some good plays. They actually got some good highlights, and it did appear it was those guys actually making the plays. And then on the flip side, Lincoln, who's built like an Adonis, he sucked a bunch of dicks. I actually knew he was going to. He's too stiff. He's only in the gym, not agile. Do you see him trying to karaoke?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah, when you do that.
Yeah, for your hip flexors?
Yeah, in front, behind.
Yeah, I used to love doing that when I was an athlete.
Big question here. Clay, we'll get to, I guess, what happened to him up next, but why is he putting his full heart and soul in this, knowing that he's endangering his career? And it's stupid.
It was very, he started to, he definitely started to think about his career a little bit late. Hey, take a chill pill. No reason to win.
I think you guys are being too harsh. I think he was kind of reserved. I think he could have blown over every single one of these guys.
He totally did at the end. Well, but I actually respect it. I had a little bit of TGTS also.
Sorry, what was that?
Take gym too seriously. Just in what should be casual games, I'm going to try way too hard. It's an affliction.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let's get into the night date. But before we get into night date, let's talk about what happened to Clay's wrist, huh? Freak accident. He just fell down and seemed to, shatter numerous things in his wrist.
It was very unclear exactly what happened, but all of a sudden he's got a broken hand. But this isn't the first time a professional athlete has had an off-field court or diamond injury.
Yeah.
That has kept them out for some time. And I actually have a list for you guys right here. Number 1, Colorado Rockies shortstop Clint Barmas was carrying frozen deer meat up the stairs for his father, fell and missed a series of games. That's actually all I have because that was off the top of my head. I just decided I was going to do this before the show. But you can look that up. That happened.
Oh, I definitely will.
Clint Barmas.
You know who I would have loved to see out there with those guys? Patrick.
I would have kicked their fucking asses.
I wish, speaking of how shitty those guys were at it, I wish we could have seen them throw the football, the ones who are bad, because that's always fun to look at. Someone who just cannot throw a football. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
What are you doing?
Hey guys, Dylan, by the way, beautiful form. He can throw a really good ball.
I really can't toss it. You know who else can toss it? Oh, let's get into the night date.
Night date.
I thought you were going to say me.
No, I was going to say Garrett.
Oh. I'm not.
You can too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a great arm.
My form's not as pretty as yours, but
No, it's not.
I can send it down there.
No, it's not.
Night date.
Set the scene. We're at some fucking warehouse.
Yeah, how many of these are in Los Angeles?
A lot, dude.
Like, have your wedding here. It's a warehouse with shit strewn all over the place that we can arrange for $1,500 a night.
I wish it was that cheap.
Yeah.
It was an
Good point.
antique store.
Garrett may be a member of the alt-right, and he may use his company's social channels to voice opinions that exist within that ideology. But I really like the guy.
I do too, and I want to say I don't think he's going to stay around because I do think he's great on the show, but given last week and his likes on certain social media posts, why didn't they do any damage control for him? That's very telling. The Bachelor likes to protect their own, especially people they're trying to keep relevant. And
Listen, I think this is a nothing burger. I mean, he's a freaking, he's a hick from Reno who likes alt-right shit. Thinks David Hogg is a crisis actor.
I think
let him think that. He's not,
he didn't kill anybody.
He didn't kill anybody.
He didn't date rape them on the set of a notable spin-off show.
What are you referring to?
DeMario Corinne, that was something they got out. That was something they got out in front of. Yeah, like you said, he liked a couple pictures on Instagram. This guy's not alt-right. He's not alt-right.
No, he is, but
he's not alt-right. He's all right.
I like that. That's a nice.
He's alt-righty.
Here's my impression of Matthew McConaughey at a Nazi rally. Alt-right, alt-right, alt-right.
Yikes.
What? That is so funny, you prick.
Yikes.
Hey, can I get something more important?
Yeah.
Why the fuck is Becca on this night date pulling Leo, the stunt guy / AKA Showtime late night porn Skinamax shit, making out with him? She can make out with a lot of guys, and that's fine, and we will not judge her. But this guy is the bottom of the barrel.
I disagree so hard. I really, really like Leo a lot.
He's growing on me, too. Ballsy move calling the other guy in the house with long hair saying he confused him with a woman when you yourself have that Kenny G flow. But he's also huge.
Yeah. Leo's very, very big. Let's get on to Blake. He is one of my least favorite people on this show. He is a big old puss. But I do have to say, he fucking cements his place in this show tonight. She says the thing that you want to hear when you're dating somebody. They're not dating, but this is what you want to hear when you're dating somebody. They just want to go and chill out with you and take a nap, because that is a sign of true friendship, which is the foundation of a long-lasting love.
Dylan, you miss the real statement here. He called her his girlfriend.
I don't care about that.
No, that's what won her heart, you dummy. This is why you married your high school girlfriend. You need to know how to manipulate women like I have grown to do over the last 20 years. You tell a girl that you're trying to win her heart over, you're my girlfriend, and bam, you just bought yourself 3 more weeks.
What are you talking about? That's such a risky move. If you say, hey, you're my girlfriend, to somebody who's not agreed to be your girlfriend, that could go horrifically wrong.
Obviously, it worked out for him. He got the fucking rose. He's not going home.
Yeah,
I'm not saying...
You guys are right. That was the important sentence.
She explicitly said he called me, because I think it goes back to what we said about Becca. She's a weak bachelorette, and she's desperate. She's excited she had that affection. When he put that label on it, it killed.
God, that is so stupid. That is so stupid. How long have you known this guy? A week and a half? What are we at, a week and a half of filming right now?
I want to say it was a throwaway line on his part, too. I don't even think he was thinking that. That's what's so crazy about that. She ate it up. I
chalked it up to him just being a fucking, way too into this and way too serious about this entire process, which is, par for the course.
I kind of got the vibe that he didn't do that intentionally, but this is the man who got engaged after 3 months, not even on a TV show.
You guys want to talk about Clay?
Okay.
He comes back. She asks if his wrist is broken. He says maybe. Turns out it's a lot worse.
Your heart's about to be broken.
Let's go to the cocktail ceremony. He comes in and says, guys, it's going to be a bit of a problem. Doc says I'm going to need surgery on this, and kind of is in a war with his head and his heart. And he has serious concerns. I play football for a living. It's the main revenue stream in my life. And if I stay on this stupid show, I may not ever get to collect said revenue ever again. Go. Now, Clay. Leave the show.
Once again, Dylan, you missed the lead, but that's why I'm here. He had to crowbar into that. He crowbarred into that statement that he had family to take care of. So it wasn't just him he was thinking of. These are the things that the viewers of Bachelor Nation listen to. These details of, oh, it's not just about him. Like, if he stays here, his nieces and nephews won't be able to eat.
They'll die.
Exactly.
They'll be eating lipstick.
Poor Christina. It is late up in here. We got to get going. We're going to come back next week. That's it for us. We love you guys very much. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to jump in those iTunes ratings and reviews. Please tell people at the grocery store about this podcast. Strangers, friends, families. Tell them all. Also, jump in that Facebook group. You can see videos about like Pat's ugly dogs, and you can jump in on the questions and answers and all the community that we have over there. That's it for me. Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.